What if I told you the most powerful retail empire in the world started with nothing but a secondhand desk, a dream about selling books, and a guy typing code in his garage? Sounds like the plot of a startup drama, right? Well, it's not fiction. It's Amazon, a company that didn't just reshape how we shop but cracked the code on how to go from zero to trillion-dollar hero. And behind this retail revolution, a ripple effect that launched careers, minted billionaires, and shook the foundations of American business. Welcome to the Amazon Effect, how America's richest got their start. The humble beginning. Bezos and the bookstore that ate the world. Let's rewind to 1994. Picture Jeff Bezos, a 30-year-old hedge fund VP who's just read a stat saying internet usage is growing 2,300% per year. That's not a typo, that's exponential mayhem. Most people would smile, nod, and go back to their spreadsheets. Bezos? He quit his cushy Wall Street job, packed up a car with his wife, and drove cross-country to Seattle. His idea? A bookstore. But not just any bookstore, one with every book in the universe, available to anyone with a dial-up connection and a little patience. They called it Amazon. And yes, it began in a garage. Bezos used doors for desks to save money, hired a small team of developers, and launched the site in July 1995. The servers crashed the first day from too many orders. That's right, like too many people wanted to buy books from this weird little website. Good problem to have, right? But this wasn't just the beginning of Amazon. It was the beginning of a new era, the internet gold rush. And Bezos? He was about to become the first digital oil baron. As Amazon exploded, it inspired a tidal wave of imitators. Entrepreneurs saw that you didn't need a storefront or shelves, just an idea and a website. Suddenly, a generation of online startups was born. Pets.com, Webvan, eToys. Some would crash and burn, but others would quietly take notes from Amazon's playbook. And those early Amazon employees, they weren't just techies, they were future moguls. Take Andy Jassy. Hired in 1997 as a marketing guy, he later founded Amazon Web Services, AWS, the company's cloud computing arm. Today, AWS makes up the lion's share of Amazon's profit. And Jassy? He's now the CEO of Amazon. That's right. He went from marketing to the throne. Or how about Jeff Wilk, who led Amazon's operations and logistics? He helped pioneer one of the most ruthlessly efficient delivery networks in history. No Wilka, no two-day Prime. And guess what? He retired a multi-millionaire after cashing in his shares. The Amazon effect wasn't just about Bezos getting rich, it was about lifting dozens, if not hundreds, of employees, engineers, and investors into a whole new income bracket. And that's before we even get to the investors. Early investors, the risk takers who hit the jackpot. In the early days, Bezos pitched Amazon to friends and family. He needed around $1 million to get it off the ground. He promised people a 70% chance they'd lose their money. How's that for a sales pitch? But those who believed in him, those who wrote checks for $50,000 or $100,000, walked away with hundreds of millions. Take Nick Hanauer, a Seattle-based venture capitalist. He invested $40,000 in 1995. By the time he sold some of his stock, that stake was worth more than $100 million. Then there's Tom Alberg, one of the founding partners of Madrona Venture Group. He took a gamble on Bezos early, and it paid off in billions, not just in Amazon stock, but in access, influence, and a front-row seat to the tech revolution. These weren't just lucky breaks. These were carefully timed risks that rode the wave of Bezos' vision, and in doing so, reshaped the idea of what American wealth could look like. The Amazon Mafia, like PayPal, but with more boxes. You've heard of the PayPal Mafia, that group of early employees who went on to create Tesla, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Palantir. Well, Amazon has its own version, quieter, nerdier, and arguably just as powerful. Many of Amazon's early employees didn't just cash out and disappear. They reinvested, launching new startups, building venture funds, and becoming the next generation of tech mentors. Examples? Mark Lohr, who sold Diapers.com to Amazon and later launched Jet.com, which Walmart bought for $3.3 billion. Auren Hoffman, who worked on data infrastructure at Amazon, later founded LiveRamp, a key player in online identity resolution. even the former head of Prime, Greg Greeley, went on to lead Airbnb's global homes division. These weren't flukes. They were seeds planted by the Amazon effect, a culture of experimentation, efficiency, and relentless optimization that followed these people wherever they went. How Amazon rewired America's economy and made billionaires along the way. Amazon didn't just make people rich, it changed the rules of retail, logistics, and even labor. It forced Walmart, Target, and Best Buy to digitize or die. It created an entire economy of third-party sellers, many of whom became millionaires by mastering the Amazon algorithm and private label product game. It gave rise to Shopify, the anti-Amazon platform, as sellers looked for independence. Shopify's founders became billionaires in the process. Amazon Web Services created a cloud computing boom, powering everything from Netflix to NASA. It allowed startups to build global applications without buying a single server. The founders of Snowflake, Databricks, and Zoom, they owe their scalability to AWS. Even FedEx and UPS had to evolve. And let's not forget the rise of same-day delivery startups like Instacart and DoorDash, all modeled to some degree on Amazon's logistics genius. Mechanical Turk, while controversial, gave rise to the gig work era, training a generation of remote task workers and early AI systems. And then there are the YouTubers, influencers, and e-commerce hustlers who live off affiliate links, Amazon storefronts, and drop shipping. The entire digital side hustle economy owes a big thank you card to Bezos' giant, two-day delivery machine. Bezos steps down, but the effect marches on. When Jeff Bezos stepped down as CEO in 2021, it marked the end of an era, but not the end of the Amazon effect. Andy Jassy took the reins, and Amazon continued expanding into groceries, healthcare, satellites, and smart homes. They're even building an internet constellation called Project Kuiper to rival Elon Musk's Starlink. Meanwhile, Bezos himself is busy with Blue Origin, his space company. He's investing in longevity research, buying media empires like the Washington Post, and attending fashion shows in space cowboy boots. Because why not? But his legacy isn't just a company, it's a mindset, a culture of boldness, long terms, thinking, and operational excellence that continues to ripple across America's economy, lifting some to staggering heights and inspiring others to dream just as big. Outro. The Amazon effect is just getting started. So, what exactly is the Amazon effect? It's not just about books or boxes, it's about belief. It's about a guy in a garage daring to outthink the entire retail world and dragging hundreds of future millionaires along for the ride. It's about early employees who became CEOs, sellers who became moguls, and developers who built tools that changed the internet forever. And whether you love Amazon or loathe its size, one thing's for sure, you can't ignore it, because the Amazon effect isn't over. In fact, it might just be the beginning of something even bigger. So, next time you hit buy now, just remember, you're not clicking a button. You're participating in a revolution.